What's going on, guys? Sticks here with the Token Minorities, bringing you another deck on Pokemon TCGO, and today I am bringing you a Giratina Malamar deck. I know I brought you a Mega Gardevoir Giratina deck, but this deck is centered around attacking with Giratina. And before I get into the deck, just a reminder that if you guys like this video or found it helpful, please leave a like, drop a comment, click that subscribe button, helps us out a ton, and let's do more cool stuff for you guys. And as for the question of the day, well, first thing I want to say is I want to give credit where credit is due. The list that I have in front of me is based off of the one that Tablemon did, so big shout out to them. Highly encourage you to check them out. They have very high quality Pokemon content, or Pokemon TCG content. But yeah, the question of the day, so Christmas is a week away, and so naturally Christmas, a lot of it is centered around gift giving. And so naturally, wow, I've said naturally like 3 times already, but obviously people have things that they want. And so my question of the day is, what do you want most for Christmas? Now, that can be anything from a gift, a game, like seeing family. It can literally mean anything. Like, what do you want most out of the Christmas season? For me, normally, I just like being with my family. That sounds really bad. Normally, I like being with my family, but this year, I just hate them. I can't stand them. But no, that's opposite of the truth. But normally, what I want for most out of the Christmas season is just for family to be together, spend time with each other. Like, I just love being with my family, like messing around, going to movies, just hanging out. Like, that's normally what I love most about the holiday season. But this year is actually the first time in a very long time that I have something very specific that I want for Christmas. And that is actually, this sounds really weird, but what I want for Christmas most this year is a backpack. Now you might be thinking like, wait, Sticks, you're in med school, why do you want a backpack? Oh, actually, first thing, I would like to have my student loans paid off, but let's be realistic here. The reason I want a backpack is so when I was packing to go home after finals, I was putting everything into my trusty old backpack, the one that I've had for 7 years. It's been to Italy, it's been to Paris, it has been all over the United States. Like, it is the backpack that I take everywhere with me. Going over to a friend's house, taking that backpack. Going on a trip, taking that backpack. Going to class, same old backpack. Like, it is the thing that I always carry with me, and I've had it since senior year in high school. So that's 1, then 4 years of college, 1 gap year, and 2.5. That is nearly 7 years of having that backpack. That's 4 plus 3. Yeah, that's actually 7.5 years of having that backpack. But as I was packing up to come home, it broke. The zipper broke to where I can't repair it. Like, it just completely broke. And so it was just kind of like, it was a sad moment for me. I was like, wow, I'm actually really attached to this backpack. So yeah, what I want for Christmas is a backpack, and obviously all the family shenanigans that go with it, that go with the Christmas season. But yeah, wow, that was too long. I just went on like a 3-minute rant of how much a backpack meant to me. And this is exactly why you guys subscribe or unsubscribe to this channel, because I just do the most random crap possible. But sorry about that. Anyway, on to the deck. Like I said, it is centered around Giratina with the Distortion Door ability. Once during your turn, if this Pokemon is in your discard pile, you may put it onto your bench and put 1 damage counter on 2 of your opponent's Pokemon. And then Shadow Impact, 130 damage, put 4 damage counters on 1 of your Pokemon. So pretty significant downside, but I mean, Shadow Impact actually hits pretty solidly. And then Distortion Door is amazing because it's just like, alright, throw Giratina into the discard pile, it recycles itself, and I'm able to get damage out of it recycling itself. So not only do you not have to worry about running out of Giratinas, you get benefits from it being in the discard pile. So yeah, Giratina is actually really awesome. The more I've played with this deck, the more fun I've had with it. And really, this deck is just centered around powering up Giratina, using it most effectively, like just taking knockouts with it, spreading around damage, setting up KOs to where Shadow Impact is just repeatedly able to take 2 prize knockouts while exchanging the 1 prize Giratina. So that's really what this whole deck is centered around, with some obvious tech attackers. So the first thing that we have is an Onix with the Land Crush for 4 energy, whopping 4 energy. It does 120. That's for all of the Fighting Week Pokemon, Cough, Zoroark, Cough, but also to a lesser extent, like when you're on just the TCG ladder, you'll run into like Zera auras and stuff and like that. But yeah, just mainly for Zoroark, who otherwise gives this deck a really, really bad time because it resists Giratina. We have a tough time 2-hit KOing that thing, so it's really... Actually, it's not hard to 2-hit KO based on the damage output of this deck and like the way you're able to spread around damage, but this deck likes setting up 1-hit KOs with Shadow Impact. Zoroark's ability to resist that is a huge, huge problem, so that's why we're running a copy of Onix that we can power up pretty easily if we have enough Malamar set up. 2 copies of Tapu Koko, name of the game, spread damage, setting up the KOs. Tapu Koko is amazing for that. Also having the free retreat, that way when a Giratina gets knocked out, we can just promote the Tapu Koko, put the Giratina back onto the bench, accelerate the energy to it, and then free treat out our Koko into the Giratina. So just very nice synergy right there. Only 2 Giratinas because you really just kind of use one over and over, just like, okay, that got knocked out. Well, back on the bench, energy back onto it, it's attacking again. I mean, it recycles itself, like I said, so you're really not worried about bringing the Giratina back out, running out of Giratinas, because as soon as they get knocked out, they're right back where you had them to begin with. 4-4 of Inkay and Malamar. We want the absolute max number because we need a lot of acceleration in this deck. This deck relies very, very heavily on the Malamar acceleration, so that's why we're okay with that. Lunala with the full moon star attack. I mean, it's just another way of getting stuff set up, like getting Giratina set up, getting a bunch of energy in play if our opponent is set up nicely, and then Storm to a lesser extent, but really if you're going to be attacking, you're going to be attacking with Giratina, so it's mainly just for the setup that you can get from it. Necrozma-GX, if you need that big one-hit knockout on something, Necrozma can do that, and also its GX attack, Black Ray GX, really, really helps set up knockouts for Giratina, so that is a big part of it too. 2 Tapu Lele just for starting up, getting everything set up. And then as for the items, we're running a very, very straightforward, just a whole bunch of search, couple recursion, and that's about it. 4 of the Mysterious Treasure, just because, I mean, 90%, actually not 90%, let's see, it's very, I'm not even going to bother with the math, but it's 14 out of 17 of the cards are Psychic type, so Mysterious Treasure able to get that out with only discarding 1 card. Ultra Ball just guaranteed gets us what we need when we need it, and Nest Ball gets us everything else. I mean, Nest Ball gets everything except for Malamar, and also Lele, because if you Nest Ball for a Lele, unless you really, really need that energy drive or that Tapu Cure, you need to rethink what you're doing. 2 Rescue Stretcher, because Inkay and Malamar are so insanely important to this deck setup that if our opponent brings up and knocks out 1, having 2 can be enough, but like, you just want to have as many as possible so that you never have to worry about accelerating energy. 1 Shrine of Punishment, because this deck isn't overly reliant on GXs, there are only 3 of them, and in some cases you never play them at all, so it's just a nice way of continuing the damage spread, setting up the KOs for Giratina. And then as for these supporters, 4-3 of Cynthia and Guzma for draw, and of course Guzma is Guzma, I always love it. 2 Apricorn Maker as the, I guess, kind of the starter. We do have Lillie in this deck, but Lillie is actually used more for... I found that Lillie is ended up used more for just the draw support that it provides mid-game, just drawing up to 6 cards as opposed to first turn, because Apricorn Maker is usually what you start with, just getting things set up, getting Inkay out, and trying to evolve them as quickly as possible. 2 Lillie for the draw support, but also potentially 8 cards on turn 1 is always nice, and 2 Tate and Liza for the switching ability, because if you don't have a Koko, then a lot of the stuff has retreat costs that you don't want to pay, so there's always that, but then there is the shuffle draw 5 that you have the option of as well. 4 spell tags in order to spread around even more damage to set up the knockouts for Giratina. I mean, it's just really nice to be like, okay, well, you knocked out my Giratina, not only do I get the 2 damage counters from Giratina, I get to spread out 4 more damage counters as well. 2 DCE, because, I mean, things like Onix, Tapu Koko, Necrozma to a lesser extent, and Lele seem to like it. I mean, it really helps out with their attack cost, but the main thing is the 10 psychic energy that we are working with so that we can power up our attackers. But anyway, that is the deck, and let's just go ahead and see this deck in action. Alrighty, we have found one against Vinny Poke 23 with a fairy and... Whoa, that was weird. But a fairy and normal deck, and we do win the coin flip, meaning we will get to go first, so I'm not fully sure what type of deck he is running, but unfortunately we do end up mulliganing, and yeah, so my opponent will get a couple extra cards. We'll be able to see what deck he's running. Are we going to mulligan again? Yes, we are, and no, this is going to be a Sylveon stall deck, so yeah, horrible person for running this, but Yeah, honestly, like, I just... Okay, don't get me wrong. If you're going to bring it to a real tournament where there are real life, like, prizes, I understand. Like, I understand why you would bring that, because if you feel it gives you the best chance to win. But how many times did I mulligan? 3? Jeez. But, I mean, just like in TCGO, where a lot of people are mostly just trying to have fun, like, yeah, ladder points, I guess, are on the line, but I just don't understand why just preventing your opponent from being able to play, like, I don't know why people find that fun. Like, I just don't really understand it. But in this given matchup, I actually do think we have a little ace in the hole in the form of my Necrozma-GX. So what I'm actually going to go ahead and do is Ultra Ball for that, play that down, Nest Ball for another Malamar, and basically, like, if I have 4 energy, I will be able to one-shot Sylveons, so that is going to be kind of my MO this game and what I'm going for. So, how do I want to do this? Let's play the Koko down because free retreat is always nice. I don't want to play my DCE just because I know that my opponent has... I know that my opponent has Enhanced Hammer, so I don't want to play that down, and, like, I would play it onto my Inkay and just retreat out, but then, like, I want to still have Necrozma on the bench, so actually, you know what I should have done? I should have attached the DCE to Inkay, retreated out into Koko because Koko still has free retreat, and then I can still attach to the Necrozma later on. And so my opponent is going to attach an energy and evolve into a Sylveon, which is, I mean, that's to be expected. Like, that's how the deck runs, so it'll be interesting to see what type of supporters my opponent plays, what type of plays they go for. And they go for a Mars, and wow, it literally hit the one card in my hand that I did not mind my opponent getting rid of. Like, had he gotten rid of the Malamar, I guess the Malamar could have been... Had he gotten rid of the Malamar, I could have just Rescue Stretchered that thing immediately back into my hand. So that's not the end of the world. It got one of the 2 cards that I don't mind. Basically, actually, I wouldn't even have minded the DCE either. Okay, fine. The only card that I would have minded is the Cynthia, but in terms of the fewest amount of plays that have to be made in the next turn, like the fewest amount of clicks that I have to do, him getting rid of the Rescue Stretcher as opposed to the Malamar is always nice as well. So, yeah, and he's gonna Magical Ribbon, I guess, really thinking through. Like, I mean, this is also what I dislike about facing Sylveon, in addition to being just a stall deck that doesn't, like, it really just keeps your opponent from playing the game, which I don't find fun facing against online. Like, I just don't really like that. But either way, I mean, like, if it wins, then you know what, do you. But it also takes quite a bit of time, your opponent thinking through every single move, because every single move is actually pretty important. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is evolve into Malamar, play the DCE, and then Cynthia. If I get... You know what? I think I'm just 1 card short of being able to win the game this turn. Because what I can do is grab another Malamar, and literally if I had a single more card, if I had one, I think if I just had, if I had 1 more card, I could Ultra Ball for a 3rd Malamar, get all the damage onto, or get the energy onto my Necrozma for a 3 energy Prismatic Burst, and then play down my Shrine of Punishment, and I would have been able to knock him out. So, yeah, that's 1 card short. But I'm going to kind of hope that my opponent doesn't really have anything else. I'm going to hold off on the Shrine of Punishment because my opponent could very easily just max potion this turn. And now that he is forced to commit another... Now that he's committed another energy and a muscle and a bodybuilding dumbbells, that's unfortunate. So he's just going to... Okay, he's going to knock out a Malamar, so... You know what would be really nice is if we had a supporter right about now. That'd be really nice, but he does play down another Eevee. That is unfortunate. I think my Shrine of Punishment... Yeah, that's... man, just 1 card away. 1 card away from smacking a Sylveon GX deck turn 2, like a Sylveon GX stall deck turn 2. Like, that would have been the dream right there. Just being able to do that. Oh, that would have been so ridiculously satisfying. So I'm going to promote my Tapu Koko, and then I think this is the turn... Ooh, Spell Tag. Well, too bad, can't really afford to do it right now. Let's go ahead and Ultra Ball for... And my Lele is prized. Alrighty. So let's just grab another Malamar. So yeah, my Lele is prized. That blows. That really blows. Because now we don't have access to it. What I can do, if I had 2 more energy in the discard pile, then I could be able to knock out this Sylveon. So what I think I'm gonna do, let's go ahead and play down the Shrine of Punishment. And let's actually, okay, so this might seem weird, but I'm gonna go ahead and Black Ray GX. Because this will set up the Prismatic Burst next turn for the knockout. And if he max potions up, well, that means he just can't attack me, and then we just wait a little bit longer. So, I mean, if he chooses to max potion, that's okay. Like, I just ended up delaying him, and it prevents him from being able to, like, Guzma up stuff, which seems to be his MO. And he's actually going to go for a Queequee. Oh man, I didn't get to play, when I played against Oribomb, I forgot that I didn't get to say Queequee. I didn't play any Kukuis in the deck because I know that like triggers him. But he is going to get a second Sylveon, attaches an energy to it. So what he might do is just manually retreat, like discard the DCE, actually plea GXs, which is not a big deal because these just go straight back to my hand, and I wouldn't be able to attach any energy next turn. Like, I wouldn't be able to accelerate any energy next turn anyway. Well, there's another Psychic Energy for me. So I'm just going to go ahead and play these back down. And I could play the Psychic Energy. Do I want to? Just to have it in the discard pile? No, I don't think so. I think I want to hold on to that in case I want to get a 4th energy on Necrozma at some point. So let's just go ahead and take the knockout on the Sylveon, see if we can draw into Lele. Draw into DCE. And another Psychic Energy, so... Also an Ultra Ball would be really nice right now. So Shrine of Punishment is actually doing really good work for me right now. Because it is putting his Sylveon in range of... Sorry for that, like, deep breath. I was just really out of breath and was just like... Sorry if that sounded really bad, but he's actually going to Guzma again. What's he doing? You know, if that sounded really, really bad, I might just have to edit that out. That was like a whale right there. Ooh, aw. Sorry if this is getting... Actually, you know what? I'm expecting a couple dislikes just because of that. But when you play against Sylveon GX Stall, you just gotta play it slow and not use up too many resources, because that's how they beat you. They force you to use too many resources, and that is the exact opposite of what we want to do in this situation. So, ooh, another Nest Ball. So what I can do is Nest Ball for another Inkay, I believe. Or do I want to grab Giratina and put it on the bench? Nah, let's grab an Inkay. Let's grab an Inkay, so this might actually open up another play for me this turn. I might be able to buy myself a turn. So what I'm actually going to do, so I'm going to go for a Hypnosis play. You know what? Like, if I'm going to go up against Stall, I'm going to go for the coin flip, see if I can get it, because worst case scenario, I don't get it, he knocks me out, I promote my Koko, I have free retreat, and then I will be able to just Psychic Recharge 2 energy back on next turn. Unfortunately, I do not get it, but he is getting damage racked up on him very, very quickly. Like, he can knock out my Inkay this coming turn, but... Actually, will that be a problem? No, because I'll still be able to get 3 energy. If he Guzma'd up my Malamar and knocked it out with Fairy Wind, then I still would have a Malamar in my hand and I'd have a Psychic Energy in my hand, so I just have to promote the Koko, evolve, and then Psychic Recharge onto my Necrozma in order to be able to beat it. So, ooh, my opponent is actually going to Gladion. That's actually pretty great for me. Like, that is... Yeah, of the supporters he could play... That's definitely preferable. I mean, I guess a Plumeria wouldn't do too much because, I mean, okay, he just... Actually, it would be pretty significant, I think. No, because I'd still be able to get the knockout. Never mind. A Plumeria wouldn't do it. Mars would do it if... Ooh, what is that? Ah, Lysander Labs. I'm not used to seeing that upside down. Actually, or right side up for that matter. But now my spell tags won't be doing anything, so you know what that means. That means I'm immediately going to draw into it. I am betting you. I'm going to bet you. I get a Cynthia. I get a draw supporter, guys, so we will be able to knock out his Sylveon Yeah, this is great. This is absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to be able to double Psychic Recharge, play the energy onto... Do I want to just get the 4th energy onto my Necrozma? Or do I want to attach it somewhere and just kind of pray? Nah, I have another Psychic Energy in the discard pile. I'm going to go ahead and do that. And, well, I was partially right. I got two spell tags. But I am going to play down the Giratina and play an energy onto it just in case I need a backup attacker or if I have a Guzma for next turn. I guess if I have a Guzma, then I can just attack with it. But I'm going to play the spell tag just because that gets, like... Just because that gets something out of my hand. Like, I should be able to play the spell tag. I mean, it's not going to do anything, but it doesn't hurt me to play it down either. Like, it's not going to help, but yeah, we are able to knock out that Sylveon, take 2 more prizes, and now we are in an absolutely amazing spot. I have, ooh, even another Malamar and a Lele. So that's actually really unfortunate that I played down that second Koko. Because now my Lele isn't going to be doing anything. And he does have the DCE. Man, if I didn't play down that Koko, I think I would have the game, because all I'd have to do is just Lele for a Guzma. Well, he's letting me Psychic Recharge. So he's going to try to stall now. Crushing Hammer, hashtag triggered, but that really doesn't matter too much because I do have the ability to... Yeah, I'm just going to play this spell tag down. It's Mysterious Treasure, get rid of the Malamar, because I know that there's nothing left. And then let's Lillie for more cards. And I get a Rescue Stretcher. Yay, go me. How do I want to do this? So what I'm going to do is manually attach to the Malamar. This way it forces him to knock me out. Like, it tells him, okay, you got to knock me out or Guzma up again, or I'm going to be able to retreat this coming turn. So let's go ahead and do that. And then Psychic Recharge onto the Necrozma. Because him Guzmaing is not the end of the world, because what that means is he can't use another supporter. Like, if he has to use his supporter on Guzma, that is okay. Because, again, that means he's not using other supporters in his deck. So now I'm just going to shuffle Inkays and Malamars back into the deck and just end the turn right there. Force his hand. He has to... Guzma up either my Malamar or my Giratina in order to keep this game going. Because if he knocks out my Malamar, go into Koko, just Psychic Recharge onto my Necrozma, manually attach the last energy, and then I will be able to knock him out. And he doesn't even do that, so we do have the game locked up, assuming he doesn't hit like 4 Crushing Hammers. Yeah, he needed a Crushing Hammer and a Fairy energy off of that in order to be able to delay him losing the game at that point, if that made sense. Like, because if he had Crushing Hammer, then it would have put my Necrozma down to 1 energy. Had he knocked out my Malamar, I would have promoted my Koko, attached the Psychic Energy from my hand, only single Psychic Recharged, but then at the same time, I would have been able to Lele for a fresh hand, hopefully... Actually, I wouldn't have been able to get another Malamar up. So that might have slowed me down a little bit, but I still think I had the game locked up because all I had to do was just knock out this last Sylveon. And, oh yeah, we were able to take on Sylveon stall and beat it. I mean, that is such a satisfying feeling because it's just like, yeah, screw you, dude, for stalling on the ladder. But either way, we were able to take that victory, but I didn't get to show off Giratina. So let's go ahead and try to find another one with this deck. Alrighty, we have found another one against a WP Fragger with a Psychic and Fighting deck. And, ooh, do we get to go first? Yes, we do. So I'm not sure what type of deck my opponent is running, but if it's a... If it's a fighting deck that's weak to Psychic, then that works insanely in our favor because, you know, the whole hitting for weakness thing, and Giratina will be able to one-shot everything. And we see Beast Ring, so that tells me Buzzwole. Whoa, how many times did my opponent mulligan? Holy crap. Well, looks like we are getting a bunch of cards. I guess the mulligan gods are like, okay, we feel bad for last game, but we're gonna help you out, and this is actually absolutely gorgeous. Like, this is almost the ideal opening hand. Because I will actually be able to not only get a Giratina in the discard pile, I will be able to get 3 Inkays out as well. And there are 3 Inkays in the deck, I just checked. So let's just go ahead and Apricorn Maker for 2 Nest Ball. And yeah, I just double checked. Wanted to make sure that the 3 Inkays were there, I probably would have just grabbed like a, I don't know, probably would have just grabbed another Koko or something like that. Then again, last game, the playing the Koko down did not go so well. But yeah, we do get 3 Inkay, and do I want to play down the Giratina? You know what, I think I'm just going to go ahead and do that because, yeah, even though I only get 1 damage counter off on the Rockruff, like I want to be able to attach this energy to it so that with the single Malamar that I have in my hand, basically I just want to guarantee myself an attack on this coming turn. I held off on playing the Shrine of Punishment because we did see that he had Brooklet Hill, and so I don't want him to just be able to immediately counter that, especially because we do see a couple GXs hit the discard pile immediately. So I want to play Shrine of Punishment like in a situation that guarantees me at least a single damage counter on a GX, like whether that's a single Lele or multiple like Lele, Lycanroc, Buzzwole. I just want to guarantee myself utility out of my stadium, which is why I'm holding off on playing it just in case he has a Brooklet Hill. So he will be able to Copycat, which is a very solid turn because I mean he'll be able to Shuffle Draw 7, which is insanely good. In fact, had I had Shuffle Draw 7 last game, I would have been able to immediately win in that one situation that I was talking about. Man, I keep just going back to that. I got the win, need to move on. Sorry guys, I'll do better next time. But, ooh, the Diancie comes down. Is he going to be able to get a knockout? Not quite. Okay, good, good. Missed the knockout by 10 damage. Ooh, that was close. But, ooh, even drawn to a Mysterious Treasure. So that's nice. Let's go ahead and get rid of one of my rescue stretchers, because I really don't think I need both of them. And while I could hold off on playing the DCE, like I don't need to play the DCE on the Giratina, I'm just paranoid that like, as soon as I take that risk, I'm going to draw into a hand that has no energy. So, even though Giratina doesn't need that DCE, I'm just going to go ahead and do that, and then Cynthia, and now I'm guaranteed to draw into energy. Yeah, right there. Like, I mean, I knew that that's exactly what would happen. But let's just go ahead and get my 3rd Malamar set up. Also between games, because I ran into the issue of Lele being prized, I did switch a Giratina for a Lele, so just a little bit of heads up. Just felt like 2 Giratinas were sufficient, especially because they can continually recycle themselves, and not having the Lele hurt me so badly in that other game, or in the previous game, that I just went ahead and decided to go ahead and make the change mid-live, and then I would just, I guess, re-record the deck builder. But either way, we are in a very good position because we now have a Giratina, we now have 3 Malamar set up, we knocked out a Buzzwole, we have a spell tag on the active Giratina. If he gets a DCE onto his Lele, he will be able to knock me out, but then I get the spell tag, I just promote my Koko, I reactivate Giratina, and I will, actually no, I don't even need another energy, I already have 3 energy into the discard pile that I can go ahead and Psychic Recharge onto my Giratina, immediately get that thing going back again. And so, yeah, this is exactly the type of game. And my opponent actually doesn't even get a DCE. So that means we just get another attack off with our Giratina. Let's go ahead and Cynthia. For a fresh hand, I mean, why not just get an even better of a position? Do I want to throw another Psychic into the discard pile? Nah, let's go ahead and throw a Malamar in there. I think to grab another... Do I want to grab Necrozma, or do I want to grab a Giratina? Actually, because of my Shrine of Punishment, my opponent hasn't revealed another, like, he has the Brooklet Hill, but just for the time being, because there's no reason to, I'm going to go ahead and get another Giratina, just in case my active Giratina gets knocked out. Like, yeah, I'd like to be able to, use its ability from the discard pile, but at this point, like, being able to get another Giratina set up with 2 energy on it already just seemed to, I don't know, just really seemed to make sense. I mean, we will get the knockout on his Lele coming into my turn. Never mind, he's going to Acerola that up, so that was just kind of a tease. So unfortunate right there. And he actually just Acerolas and passes. I mean, that makes sense. Like, you don't want to play down the other Lele just to get Shrine of Punishment immediately. So what I'm actually going to do, use my Guzma to take out his Lele. Take out one of his Leles because, or the Lele that's on the bench. Just take my 2 prizes, and then that way if I knock out a Rockruff, it's not a big deal. Like, I can just take a knockout on a Rockruff, or I can, actually, no, because what I'll probably do is take a knockout or start piling up damage counters on his Diancie. Because, I mean, even though he has Acerola, if he has to waste a turn Aceroling up his Diancie of all things, like if he Acerolled up a Lele like he did last turn, he gets the ability again. But just with Diancie, if he has to spend his turn using his supporter to Aceroll up a Diancie, that is honestly amazing for me. So I think that might be what I try to go for with the damage from Spell Tag. So he is just going to get a fresh hand, and what's he going to do? He's going to play down the Buzzwole, that's fine. He's going to knock me out, because I'd really like him to knock me out. Like, that'd be ideal, and I literally did the, oh, what is it? It's the Pacha meme. There we go. The Pacha meme where, like, the sun hits the hills at the right spot and they start to sing, and he does, like, the okay sign with his fingers. I literally just did that, and I'm wondering why I did that, because I am nothing but a disembodied voice in this video, so it's okay, guys. I'm going insane. Don't worry about it. He does go ahead and Bloodthirsty Eyes up my Malamar. It's not the end of the world, because what I can just do is attach an energy, and then if he wants to knock it out next turn, cool. If he doesn't, well, then bully for me. Like, that's fantastic. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and Mysterious Treasure for a Lele, just to have it in my hand. If he wants to knock me out, that's fine. If not, then I can manually retreat out. And yeah, I mean, at this point, I have 2 Giratina fully set up. I have a Koko that has free retreat. The next logical step is to just have my Malamar in a position where they can manually retreat just with a single energy, or they're already ready to manually retreat. So let's go ahead and Spell Tag up my other Giratina, play the second energy onto my Malamar, manually retreat into the very damaged Giratina, because I'm like, come on, dude, knock me out. You know you want to. You know you really, really want to. And then let's start doing, like I was saying, of getting the Malamar in a position where they only need a single energy attachment, whether that's a DCE or a regular Psychic, in order to be able to manually retreat out, just because that's a way that my opponent could try to stall, and we ain't about that. So now, unfortunately, I'm going to have to start damaging my bench Giratina, because my opponent, for whatever reason, just is not biting on the active Giratina. Don't know why. He's just not doing it. But the second he does, yeah, he will be able to knock me out this turn. All I have to do is just go into my Koko, and then Guzma up the Lele. So, you know what? Yeah, where do I want to put the damage? Because all I have to do is just play down Lele and grab Guzma. So I think let's just start putting the damage onto Diancie, but my opponent does end up conceding. Yeah, all I would have had to have done next turn was put up my Koko, play down my Lele, grab a DCE, grab a Guzma up his Lele, knock him out with Giratina, and we would win the game. So yeah, finally got to show off Giratina. I didn't get to show off the cool Distortion Door into Psychic Recharge combo like I kind of wanted, but I mean, we still got 2 good games against decks that weren't just hodgepodge decks. We beat a stall deck, and we were able to show off Giratina plus Malamar, so I consider that a win. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and this is Styx signing out. Why not? See you guys.